This is classic populism, us versus them, the pure people versus the corrupt elite, a struggle for Britain's soul framed as both spiritual and civilizational. And while Robinson remains a deeply divisive figure, his talking points are finding echoes in more polished, more electable political platforms. Reform UK, once dismissed as a single-issue protest party, is now leading the opposition in some polls. Their message? Britain is broken, and it's immigration, political correctness and globalism that broke it. The danger here is not in disagreement, but in distortion, in reducing complex national issues to simplified enemies, asylum seekers, Muslims, woke elites, or the European Union, and in the vacuum of economic inequality, housing shortages and cultural change, that narrative finds willing ears. The crowd at the rally was diverse in age and background, united less by ideology than by anger. Some said they came for free speech, others for border control. Still others voiced vague frustrations with the cost of living and crime. It's a coalition built not on solutions, but shared resentment. And that makes it powerful. It also makes it unpredictable. The British far right has long been fractured, riddled with infighting, legal issues and public backlash. Robinson himself has been banned from social media platforms, imprisoned and sued for defamation. Yet he remains a fixture in Britain's culture wars, more a symbol now than a strategist. And symbols can be dangerous when they find momentum. Opponents of the rally were quick to respond. Human rights groups warned that normalising Robinson's rhetoric risks emboldening hate groups and legitimising extremism. Anti-fascist activists staged counter-demonstrations, but media coverage remains divided, with some platforms downplaying the scale and others amplifying his voice. This is not just about Tommy Robinson, it's about the environment that allowed this event to happen, and the thousands willing to show up and cheer him on. The crowd waved not only Union Jacks, but also flags of Pahlavi Iran, a monarchist symbol embraced by some anti-Islamist groups. The visuals were jarring, a mashup of nationalist nostalgia, post-truth politics, and online radicalisation brought into the real world. What we're seeing is not just a shift in the political spectrum, it's a shift in what's considered sayable, a redrawing of the line between dissent and demagoguery. Robinson's movement thrives on the claim that he says what others won't, that he speaks truth in a world of lies. And while many see him as a provocateur, others see a prophet of national revival. This rally, loud, chaotic and theatrical, was a test of whether Britain's institutions, political parties and civil society are prepared to engage with the real grievances that fuel this anger without conceding to its more dangerous impulses. Because when fringe ideas go unchallenged or worse, become fashionable, the cost can be profound. We've seen this before. Across Europe, right-wing populist movements are no longer fringe players. In Italy, France, the Netherlands and Hungary, they are now key parts of the political establishment. Britain is not immune. The challenge then is twofold: to listen to legitimate frustrations, economic insecurity, housing crises, cultural anxiety, without embracing scapegoats or conspiracy, and to defend democratic values without dismissing everyone who disagrees as deplorable. This is a delicate line, but it's one that matters deeply, because today's rally was not an isolated moment. It's part of a broader global pattern where authoritarian nostalgia, nationalism and mistrust of institutions are gaining ground. Whether Robinson leads this movement or is simply its loudest voice remains to be seen. What is clear is that the anger is real, the audience is growing, and the story is far from over. As Britain heads toward its next general election and as the political centre continues to wobble, events like this one will become more frequent and more difficult to ignore. From the steps of Parliament to the corners of social media, the question remains, who gets to define what it means to be British, and who gets left behind in the answer? London, a capital at the heart of one of the world's oldest democracies, but on this day, its historic streets became the stage for a movement many hoped had long been pushed to the margins. More than 100,000 people gathered in central London under banners of patriotism, nationalism and protest. At the centre of it all, Tommy Robinson, the polarising former leader of the English Defence League and one of Britain's most controversial figures. Robinson, a man whose political brand has long courted outrage and loyalty in equal measure, addressed the crowd with renewed confidence. This wasn't just a protest. It was, in his words, the beginning of a counter-revolution. As he took the stage, flags from across the United Kingdom were held high, from Scotland to Wales, Northern Ireland, and even the Republic of Ireland. The symbolism was both calculated and chaotic. One flag, the Irish tricolour, was mistakenly held upside down, but the crowd cheered regardless. Robinson called on the memory of his Irish mother. He asked where the men of England had gone, and he declared the birth of a patriotic uprising, shouting that the traitors in Westminster were trembling. It's easy to dismiss this as political theatre, and in many ways it was. But there is more to this moment than just pageantry. This rally comes during a pivotal shift in British politics. With Nigel Farage's Reform UK party surging in national polls, hard right rhetoric is no longer confined to fringe circles. Anti-immigration sentiment is growing. Protests outside hotels housing asylum seekers are becoming common. Farage speaks in terms of national betrayal. Robinson goes further, invoking cultural extinction. In his speech, Robinson outlined a clear worldview, one rooted in conspiracy, fear, and populist anger. He claimed that for 20 years, a globalist revolution has quietly reshaped Britain, eroding the family, attacking Christianity, and opening borders to mass migration. Now, he said, it was time for the people to rise in return. His message isn't new, but the scale of the audience and their reaction signals something different. What once might have drawn a few hundred supporters has become something much bigger, bolder and louder. Robinson is tapping into a very real current of discontent. His claims of political censorship, media bias and betrayal by the elite resonate with a segment of the British public that feels abandoned by traditional parties. He calls it the end of labels, saying terms like racist, Islamophobe and far right no longer silence people. According to him, the dam has burst. He argues that the government is now parroting what he's been saying for 15 years, that mainstream politicians are shifting their tone, not out of conviction, but out of fear. He tells his followers, you were right all along. The state lied, the media smeared, but now they're listening. Now they're afraid.
18 British women raped.
You are part of a tidal wave of patriotism. So let me ask you, where are the men from England? God bless Scotland. Let me hear it for Northern Ireland. My mum was born in Ireland. Let's hear it for the Irish Patriots. Let's hear it for Great Britain. I see the British spirit brings us to... stories of why we're here and why we care. And it's going to be... Today is the spark of a cultural revolution in Great Britain. This is our moment. The traitors in Westminster are watching right now. They are cowering. They are trembling. Keir Starmer, the Labour Party, the revolution has started. For the last 20 years, there has been a globalist revolution. They have attacked the family, they've attacked Christianity, they've opened the borders, they've flooded our nations. We are the start of a counter-revolution. They managed to silence us for 20 years with labels. Racist, Islamophobe, far right. They don't work anymore. The dam has well and truly burst. The government are attempting to do a U-turn. Politicians all of a sudden are finding courage and they're parroting the things that we have said for 15 years. They targeted us, they slandered us, they demonised us, they attacked us and they imprisoned us. But they can see the people power, they can see the shift.